What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Barbells and Bangers. Today, I am sipping on another well-being brew. This one is the Victory Wheat, and this one has electrolytes. What? Yeah, it has freaking electrolytes, dude. So you're drinking a beer and you're getting hydrated. I mean, you're just a queen of multitasking at this point. But anyways, yeah, check out Wellbeing Brewing. Use my code BrieEckert for 10% off your purchase of $10 or more. Okay, let's get to the episode. So much to talk about. I feel like just just a lot going on this weekend. And like it was St. Patrick's Day. There was UFC fights. I mean, I didn't even really do anything for St. Patrick's Day, but it still happened. And just like a bunch of new music, I feel like keeps coming out. It's like almost hard to keep up with everything because there's just so much going on. I feel like this is always how spring is. Spring is like, I don't know. It's just such a busy time of the year for me all the time. And it's just like a busy time in general for like events and birthdays, weddings, like all that stuff. It seems like spring, like March, April is just like, it's a lot. So I'm just trying to keep everything straight, okay? But yeah, it was a good weekend. Obviously, I watched the fights and I just kind of focused on resting this weekend, honestly. Like it's Sunday night. It's, getting closer to bedtime. I'm wearing a tracksuit and drinking my non-alcoholic beer. So this is what's going on in my life. But I mean, who doesn't love it's a pink tracksuit. Who doesn't love this? Anyways. So I wanted to talk about just kind of what I'm dealing with like my fitness and just how I'm feeling and all that kind of stuff, like physical stuff. Because I feel like that's mostly been like what's consuming my mind lately. And it's just been kind of throwing me off a little bit, to be honest. So I don't know if any of you guys know this, but I have lupus. I've mentioned it a couple times on the podcast. And lately it's just been kind of bugging me. I've just been dealing with a lot of fatigue and some pain, and you just feel like you got hit by a train. Like that's the only way I know how to describe it. Like you just wake up and how you just feel it. You're just like, oh my God. Like that's how I feel when I'm having like a little flare up. So, and I'm not taking any medication for lupus right now. Like I'm trying to deal with it naturally because that's been my goal for a long time, was to get off medication. I was on medication for about 3 years. So almost 3 years. So then I finally got off of it. And at one point I was on medication and I was on an injection and I was on ADHD medication too, all on top of it. And the ADHD medication was mostly to kind of deal with my fatigue at that point. Like I didn't even really care about like dealing with the ADHD. I just wanted to be able to stay awake. So that was kind of, my reasoning behind why I took it. But I got off of that probably about 1.5 years ago. And that was a great decision getting off that. Like it was hard at first to get off of it. And I will say like, yeah, dealing with the fatigue is definitely harder without the ADHD medication. Cause it was just like, I always knew that like, even if I wasn't feeling it that day, I'd be able to get through the day with that medication. But now with taking nothing, you really gotta like get creative. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just getting really creative with how to deal with it before automatically going, okay, let me call my doctor and get medication. I'm trying to see, how my body responds to just more natural things. Cause I don't know. I just have this weird thing. Like, I don't like the idea of being on a medication for the rest of my life. And I'm going to have lupus for the rest of my life. So I really would like to find a way to deal with it naturally and not be on medication my entire life. So that's kind of my goal. And I know like there's obviously a possibility I'm going to have to go back on medication. Like I'm totally aware of that. But for now, I'm just like, I really want to try to deal with it without it. Because my case of lupus isn't super severe. It's fairly mild compared to like, you know, like Selena Gomez had to get a freaking kidney transplant. So like compared to that, I would say my case is pretty mild. It still sucks. It's still not fun, but I would say it's pretty mild. So trying to avoid using medication. And that's honestly, I feel like where a lot of my passion for fitness really came from was just using health and fitness to deal with my illness is kind of what motivated me to do so much research on it and study it and then eventually get my certification, because I just was so like, it was more for like my survival than it was for me like trying to get in shape, like trying to be a bodybuilder. Like I wasn't even trying to do any of that stuff. I was trying to literally fix my body. So, and I found that fitness and your diet, night and day difference. When I started really focusing on my training and my diet, made such a big difference because I was training with intention. I had intention behind why I was eating certain things, why I was avoiding certain things. Like there was intention behind everything. It wasn't just, oh, somebody told me to try the keto diet, so that's what I'm doing. It's like, okay, but why are you doing it? Like, you know, like how people just like stick to like fads. No, I just wanted to fix my body. So yeah, it's interesting kind of looking back on how that all started. Obviously I was into fitness before that, but that's when I really started getting into weightlifting because I had so much joint pain that I really wanted to get rid of, or at least minimize it to the point where I didn't feel like I was in pain doing basic things. Like even when I would go to the grocery store, just like pushing the cart would like, it would be exhausting and I'd be in pain for like the next 4 hours. It was ridiculous. Like I couldn't do anything without being in pain. So I'm like, maybe if I strengthen my muscles surrounding my joints, then I won't have as much joint pain because there's not as much pressure on my joints. I don't know. I'm not a freaking scientist, guys. I didn't even take anatomy and physiology in high school. I took forensic science. What was I thinking? I should have taken anatomy and physiology and learned how my freaking body works. Because now I'm having to like go back and learn all that stuff. But anyways, so yeah, I was trying to get rid of my joint pain and trying to just feel better in general. So that's where, you know, my passion for weightlifting kind of came from. But lately I've been kind of feeling like maybe for a week I should kind of dial it back. So that's what I wanted to kind of talk about today, because I've been thinking about it all day and I was thinking about it yesterday too. But today, mostly I've been thinking about it because I'm like, oh, I need to go to the gym tomorrow and do upper body. And I'm just like, I feel like I need another rest day, honestly. I didn't do anything Saturday. I didn't do anything today. Well, I mean, when I say I don't do anything, I just didn't lift weights. Like, I still do things. Like, I still go for walks and I still am active. Because I think it's important to be active every single day. Like, I think you should at least take a, 15, 20-minute walk every day. At minimum. Like, if you do nothing else, like, you should at least do that. But, so yeah, so I've been, like, staying, mobile. I just haven't been physically lifting weights. But I'm thinking that I'm not going to lift weights tomorrow. I think that I'm just going to take a complete rest day. I think my body really needs it. And what I think I'm going to do is this week I'm going to try to do some more stuff outside and just kind of try to be outside more. I don't know. I feel like sometimes that helps me just kind of feel better when I'm outside. It's just, I don't know if it's the vitamin D. I don't know. But I like to be outside. Not like I'm going to go like sunbathing or anything. Like I'll have like a jacket on and stuff. So I'm not like tanning. But I just want to be outside and just like feel nature. I don't know. But yeah, so I think I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do maybe a couple outdoor workouts if I can. But probably just going to take my dog to the park or something. And I don't know, just kind of enjoy, if there's a day that it's nice weather, I think it might rain like this whole week. Dang, I just thought about that. Well, that's sad. If I can't go to the park with Dolly, then I'll figure something out that I can do. I might just like go walk on the treadmill or something. Because I don't want to go like I don't know. I want at least one day where I'm like doing an activity for at least like 30, 45 minutes. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyways, so I'm not going to do any weightlifting this week, I don't think. If I do, I'll just do like some cable machine stuff. Nothing like heavy. I'm not going to do anything heavy. So like light weights, cable machine, I could do that. But I'm not going to do anything heavy. And I'm just going to see like how my body responds. Because I think I have been pushing it pretty hard for the last 4 months or so. 4 or 5 months. Been pushing it pretty hard in the gym. So maybe my body's just like, hey, let's just chill for a sec. So, and that's one thing I want to talk about. So when you have a chronic illness and you are weight training, you can't really compare yourself to normal people who don't have a chronic illness, because you're not going to be able to train the same way as they do most of the time, depending on what type of illness that you have. I have lupus. That's an autoimmune disease. So if you have something like rheumatoid arthritis, then you might have a similar experience to me. But I've noticed that you really do need to focus on rest and make sure you have a good balance of activity and rest, which is really hard to figure out sometimes. Because there are times where your body can handle a lot more, and then there are times where your body is like, a little bit more fragile and sensitive. So I think it's important to really listen to your body and pay attention when your body is sending you signals that something is off. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, because I keep feeling fatigued and I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm like, well, it's probably not my diet, because my diet stays pretty much the same. And that's another thing that I feel like is really important with dealing with a chronic illness, is if your diet is very consistent, and I know sometimes that can get boring, so you can switch it up a little bit, but if your diet is very consistent, it's very easy to tell when a food bothers you, because you're eating the same thing. So you're not having to play guessing games on what made you feel a certain way, because you're not changing your meals every single day or every single week. Like, I eat basically the same things every day. I have like my staples of my diet. So if you change it, then whatever the factor is that you changed, that might be causing your issues. So that's one thing I like to pay attention to with my diet is, okay, I'm eating the same things every day. So if I add in something or if I change something and then I feel fatigued or I feel joint pain or whatever, then maybe let me try to not eat that again and then see if it goes away. And then, I don't know, you just have to listen to your body. It's really, it's not for people with no patience. You have to have so much patience dealing with a chronic illness, because a lot of times you're not going to get the answers right away. You're going to have to keep trying and keep monitoring what you're doing, what you're eating, how you're sleeping. I mean, it's like having another job, honestly, sometimes. It's like you really got to keep track of everything. And I'm so bad at it, because I'm not good at doing anything to do with like tracking, paperwork, any type of organization. I'm not good at. But I need to be better at it, because that is the only way to kind of get to the root of your issues. So one thing that I did this week that was really helpful with dealing with a flare-up, and I was dealing with a lot of like back pain and just feeling kind of achy. And I was also really fatigued. So one thing that I did to deal with that is I took a 10-minute ice bath. And if you follow me on social media, you probably saw my little picture I posted. But I did a 10-minute ice bath, and it really helped. I didn't think it was going to help as much as it did, but it really helped me a lot. I felt so much better after that. I felt like it just kind of helped me reset. And so the rest of the day, I felt great. But then Saturday, I did not take an ice bath, because I normally don't really take them on the weekends for some reason. But now I'm thinking maybe I should, because like this morning I woke up and I still just felt kind of like back to how I felt before I did that 10-minute ice bath. I felt like a little groggy, and it took me forever to get out of bed, and I just felt like a bum. I just don't like feeling like that. So, and I didn't take an ice bath yesterday, so I'm wondering if I would have taken one, maybe I would have woke up feeling a little bit better. I don't know. So, we'll see. I'm going to keep trying things, but that 10-minute ice bath, and I know that sounds like a really long time, and it really is. My feet were so cold. I could like barely move my toes when I got they were like frozen. But oh my gosh, it took away like all my pain. Like I did not have any pain when I got out of that ice bath. And I didn't have any pain until I woke up the next day on Saturday. So it's not like a cure. It's not going to get rid of your pain forever, but I didn't really feel that much pain until Saturday. And Friday morning is when I did the 10-minute ice bath. So I'm thinking I might just have to do, at least a few minutes of ice every day. And then like maybe once or twice a week do like a 10-minute one. I don't know. It's just I don't like doing it. That's the thing. Like people think I enjoy doing ice bath, and because when I post like my little videos, my ice bath or my picture or whatever, I try to make it look fun to like encourage people to do it because it is amazing for you, but I am not enjoying it. I feel like I enjoy it so much when I get out, but it's the anticipation of getting in that is the part that I really struggle with. Like oh my gosh, like this morning, I really did not want to get in there. I was like, I was just looking at the ice. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm like, I don't want to get in here. But I did it, so it's all good. Today I did 7.5 minutes. I feel like the 10 minutes is... I need to do 10 minutes again. I don't know why 10 minutes is like the magic number for me. But like normally, if I'm not having a flare up, then 3 minutes is enough. It's just right now I'm having a flare up. I'm in a lot of pain. So I feel like it's taking me a little bit of extra, to feel good. But I guess also before I wasn't really taking it for pain. I was taking it more for like the mental aspect. But now I'm realizing that it's also helping me with the pain, because when I first started doing the ice bath, like consistently, I wasn't having any flare-ups or anything. This is a kind of a recent thing that just popped up. Like I've just started having fatigue and joint pain again recently. And it could be because the seasons are changing, and I don't know, my body is just weird reacting to weather changes and things like that. So that could be it, because the weather has been kind of crazy lately. But I think, I think I just need to keep trying different things and see what works. Because that's the thing, is like there's really not a whole lot of research done on lupus as far as like remedies for dealing with the symptoms. You can't really find a whole lot of stuff on like what works, what doesn't work. So that's why I'm sharing this on my podcast, because if somebody has the same issues I'm dealing with and this helps them, that's fantastic. But anyways, I guess I'll talk about something else now. I just wanted to talk about my recovery and my experience, and just like how I'm navigating training with a chronic illness, because I feel like there are a lot of people that are dealing with probably the same thing. And just know that like you don't have to train the same way as people who are perfectly healthy. Like if you need to take a week off, take a week off. Just make sure you don't take 2 weeks off. Take only a week off and then get right back into your routine. Just make sure you don't, get too comfortable, don't get too lazy, but give yourself some rest when you need it. And, just stay motivated. So anyways, let's talk about music, because I feel like some absolute bangers have dropped lately. So NF dropped a new song called Motto. That was really good. I think he dropped another one. Did he drop another song? I'm trying to think. Well, he dropped a song called Motto, and it was freaking fantastic. And Tash Sultana dropped a new song too called James Dean, and I'm obsessed with it. Literally obsessed. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no, Motto was the only one. Oh, Hobson dropped a song. That's who I'm thinking of. So NF dropped a new song. Hobson dropped a new song. I think it was called Rebirth. I only listened to it once so far, and it was really good. And then Tash Sultana dropped a new song. And that song's called James Dean. Oh, I wanted to talk about the lyrics to that song. I'm getting kind of tired. Oh, it's 10:30. That's why. Oh, I still haven't changed my clock. It was daylight savings like a week ago, and my clock is still an hour behind. That is hilarious. That is funny. Yeah, it's 10:30. I'm getting sleepy. I waited to the last minute to do this podcast because I'm an idiot. No, actually, I was just waiting for my hair to dry because I didn't want to like dry it with the hair dryer. Because I feel like my hair gets kind of frizzy sometimes if I do that. So I just let it air dry. And yeah, it takes forever. It takes like hours. Okay, so the lyrics to Tash Sultana's new song, James Dean. You burnt out all the cigarettes watching James Dean films on a monochrome screen, but I guess it doesn't look right when everyone around you sucks the life out of your lifeline. The truth comes out in due time, but the vibe you felt... Wait a second. But the vibe you felt at first, but I ignored it. Oh, I kind of get... Okay. It makes more sense when she's singing it than when I'm reading it here. Because I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like singing it in my head. I'm like, oh, okay, I know what she was saying. Yeah, and then she says, I caught the high that you don't seem to care about the things I say, and I severed ties with things that serve me no purpose anyway. Okay, that's the part that I really, really like, because I feel like that is so, just like kind of resonated with me, like, I severed ties with things that serve me no purpose anyway. And I feel like that is like the phase of my life that I'm in right now. It's just like, cut it off. Cut it off. If it's not good for you, cut it off. Get it out. We don't need that nonsense. We don't need negativity in our lives. But yeah, this song is just so, first of all, it's just so beautifully done. The guitar just sounds so good. There's acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass, drums, and of course, she's a freaking musical genius, so she plays all of them in the music video. Gosh. I'm obsessed with her. Like, she kind of makes me want to start playing music again. Because I feel like I've not really been focusing on playing music because I've been focusing on 10,000 other different things. But I don't know. She's just really inspirational. Because she's just so herself and she just doesn't care about fitting in or what people think. She's so unique. If you don't know Tash Sultana, seriously, look it up. Look it up. Her new song. Or any of her songs for that matter. Jungle is such a good song. I remember when I first heard Jungle, this was years ago. I first heard Jungle and I was like, what is this? It's like, who is this? I've never heard, like, you just didn't hear a lot of music like that. Like, I don't know. Not from like a female. So yeah, so she just kind of talks about like how this person, I don't know who she's talking about, but this person in her life like doesn't care about her, doesn't care about the things that she says. This person, you know, is not serving her purpose. So she's cutting somebody off. That's what it sounds like to me. And we love that for her. There was another song that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I've been listening to a lot of punk lately. I'm getting back into like my punk vibe. I love that. I love that. So I've been listening to like NoFX and Black Flag, Minor Threat. What else? Dead Kennedys. And then like some ska. So like the Specials, or even like new ska, like Big D and the Kids Table. It's like a newer ska. I've just been listening to a lot of the old music that I used to listen to. So when I was in, I don't know, probably middle school, high school, I listened to a lot of punk rock, and that was like my jam. That was my freaking jam. I remember the first like punk album I ever listened to was The Clash, London Calling, and I love that album. That is such a good album. I was listening to Guns of Brixton today, and I sent the song to my friend on Facebook because we used to be obsessed with this song when we were kids, when we were in like middle school or high school. So I sent that to him because I'm like, dude, remember this song? Because it just like kind of like popped up on my playlist, and I was like, oh. So yeah. So then I made a whole new ice bath playlist with punk songs. So I'm pretty excited about that. I am so goofy, but it's okay. I'm just living my best life. I'm just trying to deal with my flare up and focus on things that make me feel good. That's the biggest thing too when you're having a flare up is like, please like avoid stress at all costs. At all costs. I mean, you can't avoid it 100%, but you can try. I try. Oh, wait, I haven't even talked about the fights. Oh my gosh. Okay. The fights. UFC 286, Usman versus Leon. I was wrong about literally every single fight. Except Jennifer Maia. I called that one. I knew Jennifer Maia was going to win that fight. I called that one. But all the other ones, I got wrong. So Vettori versus Delete, I feel like that fight could have gone either way. I don't know. I wasn't mad about the decision though. I didn't think it was a robbery. It was just a close fight. So it didn't really do anything for either of them. I feel like it just wasn't a blow me out of the water kind of fight. It was kind of like a fight where you might be like chatting with your friend for a minute while you're watching it and like not feel bad about it. I don't know. It just wasn't like super eventful. And like, honestly, now that I think about it, it doesn't really surprise me because they're two like pretty closely matched fighters, I guess you could say. So that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really surprised at the decision, but I thought it could have gone either way. I thought it just like wasn't a very eventful fight. Yeah. I don't know. Not much to say about it. But then Jennifer Maia beat Casey O'Neill, and that was beautiful. Her boxing was very sharp. Very sharp. She's really good. She's good. And then after that, what fight was after that? Was that Gunnar Nelson and Barberena? Dude, I had a feeling that Barberena was going to win, but then I kind of like thought about it after they fought. And I'm like, oh yeah, Gunnar Nelson is really good at grappling. I don't know. As soon as he went to the ground, I was like, oh no. Because I knew like Barberena doesn't really have, he's not anywhere near the same level of grappling as Gunnar Nelson. So I was like, oh no. Oh no. I didn't think he was going to get to the ground that fast. I thought Barberena was going to try and knock him out. That sucks. I think Barberena is a great fighter. I really like him. But yeah, that sucks. But it's good for Gunnar Nelson, though. I'm glad he got a win. That's good. Kind of puts him back on the map. So that's nice. And it's on the main card, too. And then, Fiziev versus Gaethje. I was really kind of surprised at that fight. I wasn't surprised that it went to decision because I already said before on my YouTube video, I said, I think it'll go to decision. But I thought it would go to decision for Fiziev. But Gaethje won. So that was interesting. And I honestly, that is probably the most patient, smart fighting I've seen from Gaethje in a long time. So I was actually really happy to see that. And it makes me feel like, okay, he's still with us. Like he's still there. He's not, going downhill. Like he can still hang with like the top guys. So that was good to see. I was glad to see that Gaethje won and that he, didn't do anything stupid. like end up getting caught, with a kick or something and get knocked out. Like, I was really hoping he wouldn't get knocked out. And not only did he not get knocked out, but he won the freaking fight. That's amazing. A lot of people thought he was going to get knocked out. And I thought there was a chance he could get knocked out, but I didn't think it was really going to happen. So I'm really glad it didn't happen, because I like Gaethje. And yeah, so that was an exciting fight. And I think, honestly, that fight's great because both of their stock kind of goes up a little bit because it was a great fight. I mean, every time Gaethje fights another striker, it's always... it's such a good fight. Gaethje's awesome. There's a reason that he's called the highlight. But, yeah. And then, the main event. I really thought Usman was going to win. I mean, it wasn't like he got, it wasn't like a lopsided beatdown. I mean, it was a pretty competitive fight, honestly. So I think a lot of people were expecting Usman to get knocked out again. But I had a feeling he would make adjustments to at least avoid getting knocked out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was an interesting fight. I kind of want to watch it again to really analyze it because, I don't know, I feel like the first time you watch a title fight, it's always like very emotional because it's a title fight. So you're like in your head so much. Cause you're like, who's gonna win? But when you watch it another time, I feel like that's when you can actually really analyze it and break it down. So I was thinking about watching that earlier today, but I had so much to do. That's why I'm not doing the podcast until 10:30. I'm such a procrastinator. Not a procrastinator, actually. I just had a lot of things to do today. A lot of like household things to do, like laundry, and I'm still doing laundry. And I just wanted to like spend some time with Dolly. Like, we took a little nap and took her outside for a while, and she was wound up earlier. Let me just say that. She was wound up. But she's chilled out now. Thank God. Thank God. But yeah, so the fights were fun. Who's fighting next? Let's look at that. Also, I don't know how I feel about Leon versus Colby. I really wanted Colby to fight Shavkat. I don't know. Leon versus Colby, I don't know who wins that fight. I don't even know. When's the last time Colby even fought? Like, it had to be at least a year ago. Maybe even longer than that. UFC schedule. Okay, so Saturday is going to be Chito versus Corey Sandhagen. Ooh, I love Corey Sandhagen. He's like one of my favorite fighters. I don't know why. I think he's awesome. And then who else is on this card? Holly Holm is fighting. Okay, Macy Barber's fighting. Oh, Macy Barber versus Andrea Lee. I would assume Barber takes that. Maybe. And then I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go with Corey Sandhagen on the main event. But I don't know. Cheeto's really good. I really like both of those guys. I hope they both win. I hope it's a draw. Okay. And then what's after that? UFC 287. Oh, Pereira versus Adesanya. Oh, Gilbert Burns versus Masvidal's on the same card. I didn't realize that. Rob Font versus Yanez. That's a good fight. Kevin Holland versus Ponzinibbio. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. This is a good card. Kelvin Gastelum is on the prelims? What is going on? Whoa, hold on. Am I just getting old? Kelvin Gastelum, Michael Chiesa, Michelle Waterson are on the prelims. That's so weird. I feel old. Like, I remember when Gastelum was freaking main event. And Chiesa. Oh, Chiesa's fighting the Leech. Oh, interesting. That's a good fight. Well, it's a good grappling fight. If you like grappling, most people don't. Seems like a lot of people watch MMA and they don't like grappling. I'm like, why don't you just watch freaking kickboxing then? Or boxing. There's other sports you can enjoy. If you don't like grappling, don't watch it. I could watch straight up wrestling and straight up jiu-jitsu, and it's entertaining to me. I feel like if you can't watch it by itself, it is probably going to be a little bit harder for you to understand what's going on. So, yeah. It's called mixed martial arts, guys. It's not kickboxing. It's not boxing. So you have to appreciate the grappling. Anyways, okay. Well, that's exciting. There's good fights coming up. And UFC is going to be in Missouri, but it's not going to be in freaking St. Louis. It's going to be in Kansas City, which is still hours away from me. So that's kind of annoying. Because it's Arnold Allen and Max Holloway are headlining. If somebody can get me tickets to UFC in Kansas City, then I might go. I don't know. I have so much going on in April. That's just stressful. That's a lot of traveling. I don't know. I get stressed out about traveling. Because it's Emily's bachelorette party in April, so I don't want to overload myself. But I really would like to go. I don't know, man. It's Kansas City. That's far. I'd have to get an Airbnb and everything, and I'm trying to save money. But I really want to go. Okay, we'll see if I actually go. I probably won't, but we'll see. Maybe I will. I don't know. Probably not. Anyways, I'm going to end this episode now so I can go to bed because I'm tired. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye.